Get in here, get in here, get in here. It is time for part 2 of this story. Well, part 2 for us, but for this content creator, it is part 6 of how his 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. I could not wait to get back to this story to see what is going on with these characters. So we don't have no time to waste. Let's get into it.
Part 6, how my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. So now I'm stuck. My plan to leave and go back to Detroit. I can't follow through with that plan. My car's repossessed. So now I got to figure this out. We got to work through the situation. I'm here to stay. Thankfully, after a couple of days, I was able to get the funds together to get my car back. I take my car home, get all my stuff back out of the car. And around the same time, now it's time for my wife to be released from the hospital. So I go to the hospital, I pick her up, she tells me to meet her outside. So I meet her outside, she gets in the car, we drive off, and she immediately, even before I could even start asking any questions, explains to me that it was a mistake, that she was there. She had met either a doctor or a nurse who she explained her situation to. They agreed with her. They were very heartfelt towards her. And she said they actually snuck her out of the facility, which is why she wanted me to meet her outside. And we pulled off. Okay. But what I realized, the mistake that I made was, why didn't I go inside and talk to the doctor to find out if there was something else going on? Is there a diagnosis involved with this? Is there some other problem that I need to know about? I just went along with what she was telling me. And really, I blamed myself for putting her in a stressful situation because we had just moved across state. We're living with her parents. I'm broke at this point. And I chucked it up to, she was just so stressed for the situation that I put her in that caused her to be in this situation where she had to go to the hospital. So I put all the blame on me. But maybe there was some other information that would have came out had I spoken with the doctors. But I certainly at the time didn't think any mental illness or any mental health issues were present because she's brilliant. She's a really smart girl. Like, she graduated from the University of Michigan. She has a master's degree. I've seen this girl write a 10-page paper in one night. Like, she's very intelligent, well-spoken, beautiful. So I didn't expect that there was anything else other than what she was telling me. And also, she was real chill. Like the person that we saw a couple of days ago that was so manic to the point we had to get her to the hospital. That wasn't the person that was in the car with me. She was chill. She was very relaxed. Everything that she was saying was making sense. So I'm just going along with it. But the other thing that I didn't realize was maybe there was some medication involved that caused her to be a little bit more calm throughout her time while she was admitted. But I will never know because I never asked that. To this day, I don't know because I never asked that question. So we get home, mom and dad, they're happy to see her. They're not asking a lot of questions. We go back to church. Obviously nobody at the church knows what's going on except for her sister and the pastor. They're not asking any questions. They're just glad that she seems to be okay. Everything is cool. I put all the blame on myself because I put her in this situation. So,
Do y'all find it odd that the parents didn't ask any questions, nor did the siblings ask any questions? Do y'all think that maybe she has a history of this, whatever it is, and this wasn't the first time, and maybe they're keeping that from her husband? Maybe they're just glad that, she got married and now she is, off their hands and her husband can deal with this now. So they seem very quiet. That seems odd to me. She had this huge mental breakdown and no one's asking any questions. They're just going on like everything's everything. Anyway, let's get back into it.
Forward from there, things became pretty normal. We didn't, shortly after I was able to get a job. She got a job. She started working. and we were able to get our own place and really started to get on our feet in this new state and new city that we were in. And it would be several years before I saw anything like that again. And this was around 2002. So we were still very early in our relationship, just a couple years in on our marriage. And this was definitely a breaking point where we could have split things off and went our separate ways. But we decided that we're going to stick together. We're going to work through it. I put all the blame on myself for the situation. She forgave me, and we decided to stick together and work through it. And that's exactly what we did. And I'll talk about more how we move forward from there on part 7. Part 7, how my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. So now we've gotten past the biggest blow up of our relationship, and the years prior in California, dating in Detroit, were wonderful years, blissful years. We get to this big blow up, and then after that, the next several years, we were good. We are part of the church, and I want to talk about that a little bit. So the church that we're a part of is a prosperity church. So they're talking about you gotta, be rich. You can be a millionaire, and your wife doesn't have to work, and your money is everybody's money, and her money is her money. The only thing she can do with her money is save, sow, and shop, right? So it's all about getting to the bag with this church, with the people that we're around. But I'm broke. I'm broke. I'm broke as a joke. And her sister and husband, as I mentioned, he was the one talking big back in the day. And he was big. Airplanes, big house, mansions, everything. And, I'm just getting started out here. I'm broke. So I started grinding like, man, I got to get to the bag. I got to get to this money. So at that time, I was working real estate. And believe me, I really hustled to try to get to it. I'm working real estate. I'm doing, at the time, I owned a car wash and overnight shift at Walmart. It was crazy. I was working so much that on one particular night, I was so tired because I was only sleeping like 2 or 3 hours a night. And on one particular night, I actually drove my car into a ditch, like fell asleep at the wheel. Like I'm really trying to grind to get to this money. Well, I felt really, really indifferent because her sister and her husband are rich. Then she meets the other sister that I told you was living with the parents. She meets a great young guy. He's really intelligent, really bright, sharp individual. They met and got married, had a baby, and they weren't quite balling at the time. But man, in a short span of time, boo, they took off and they making crazy money. Now they millionaires. Now both sisters millionaires. And then here I am stuck in the middle. I'm still broke. And I'm like, I labeled myself the broke brother-in-law. Like, why is my thing not hitting,
I just want to say something about that. He called himself the broke brother-in-law. Now, words have power. I'm not going to comment on the church. That's between them and God, whatever their philosophy is. I have no comment on that. But I will say him calling himself the broke brother-in-law and words having power, especially the words that you speak over yourself, they have the most power. So he's wondering why he's not prospering. And I bet it has a lot to do with the words that are coming out of his mouth. You have to be careful about the words that come out of your mouth. They have creative power. You might be saying it as a joke, but it is no joke. Words have power, and especially the words that you speak over yourself. So him calling himself the broke brother-in-law had a lot to do with why he was showing up broke. But that's just something I wanted to say to this point. Anyway, let's get back into the story.
But the great thing about my wife at the time, she was tremendously supportive of me in my process. And she always reassured me like, look, I'm not materialistic. It's not about the money. I love you. I'm with you. We can figure this out together. Because I used to say, well, man, like, I don't know why I'm not making it, why I'm not successful. And she just supported me. She had my back the whole time. She never made any sort of gesture that I wasn't enough. But really, I did it to myself. I made myself not enough because I'm like, yo, I can't have the brothers is rich. I got to get out here and get rich. But I just couldn't figure it out. I'm a realtor. I'm working all night. My car wash. And it never came together. So fast forward a few years, the church starts to get involved with a network marketing company. So this network marketing company comes in and they like, look, everyone needs to get involved. And we had heard about all these other folks that were making big money, this, that, or the other. And so I'm like, maybe this could be it. So me and my wife, we got involved with that program, got involved with the network marketing company. Man, and that thing took off. And next thing you know, now the money's starting to come in. So the money's rolling in. Things at the church are going well. I had lost some credibility when I missed that first service from that big event, but now it's years later. We're leaders at the church. We're making money. We got a house, a really nice house in Tennessee. And we had our first daughter during this time. And now things are just going really, really, really well. We finally in a place where we're comfortable. I feel like I'm taking care of my wife. And it was a struggle for many years because she didn't work. Like after the event that took place, as I mentioned, we finally got a place. We got a job. She got a job. I got a job. But then the more the ministry was like, hey, your wife shouldn't have to work. And, a woman's money is her money alone. And the only thing she can do with her money is, save someone's shop, all of that. So she decided that she was going to stop working. Like, we going to work this word that we're hearing from this church. And she was having some problems on the job that she was on. And she wound up quitting the job. Okay.
I wonder if that was mental issues she was having at the job.
I was like, okay, we cut a big chunk of the income out of the household, but then I kind of had to man up because what I was learning was the woman don't have to work. So that's where my whole grind and my whole hustle came from. Like, I just got to get it any way that I can. And I appreciated the fact, even though my wife wasn't working during those years, we were double income, no kids, as I used to say, but we cut out her income. Even though she wasn't working, she was tremendously supportive of me. But like I say, this network marketing came around.
He really loved
now
his
the money's rolling in. Now we got the house. Now we're doing extremely well. And I'll pick up the rest on part 8. Part 8, how my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. Now, after this video, you guys are going to know who everyone is. You'll be able to see their faces with your own eyes if you choose to watch on your own TV screen. And I'll explain why in a second. And I'm still keeping the names out, but y'all going to know all the names after this video. So, as I mentioned, now we're enjoying a little bit of prosperity. Our business is going well. We've now had our second child, my son, and we're doing great. Now comes a call from Bravo. They want to do a reality TV show, particularly based around my wife's sister's husband, who I mentioned he's got all the clout. He's in the gospel music industry. So now they want to do a reality TV show. So they're coming in, they're doing interviews, finding out what direction they want to go in with the show. Now, this was over about a 2-year span that they were planning on pulling this show together to eventually, now we got the contracts and now we're ready to go. So On the day that, and this is another situation where fate just reared its head again. On the day that they decided to start filming the show was the same day that my wife and I were moving out of the home that we lived in. The reason that we were moving out of the home is because even though we had some years where we were enjoying some prosperity, now the business is slowing down. The money is slowing down. And I'm looking like, am I about to become the broke brother-in-law again? So we're like, okay, we need to downsize. So we're planning on downsizing. We're going to move out of our house into an apartment. And we're just going to do it quietly. We're not going to tell the family. And we were all very close, the whole family. Her sister and husband were our pastors. So there was a time when we told them a lot of what we did. We told them pretty much everything different moves we were going to make. But, you get to the point like it's not that great for someone to know everything about what you have going on. So we said, we're just going to make this move quietly. Well, it turns out we can't do it quietly. Same day, the cameras show up like, we got the show, the contracts are signed. Now we're about to start filming this show. Today was the same day we had to move.
I agree with what he said. It's not good to tell everybody your every move. Do you? And then after it's completed, then you can share with them, well, we did this or we did that, and we made this move or we made that move. Telling everybody your every move, it's not smart. Also, here he go again, calling himself broke. I've said enough about that, but watch what you speak over yourself. Watch what you speak in general, because words are powerful. But let's get back into the story.
Showing up at the house. So if you decide to go watch the show, you'll see on the first episode, we move, right? So with the TV show, they're trying to figure out what narrative are they going to go with. And you've seen shows, I'm sure, on Bravo where, any reality show, they like the drama. So they're looking for a narrative. They're looking for a storyline. They're trying to figure out what can we bring to this show. They decided to pick up our storyline of moving. So they said, well, you guys, because they asked, did you guys tell your family that you were moving? No, we didn't tell our family. We kept it to ourselves, this, that, or the other. They're like, bing, okay, great. That's the drama we're looking for. Or they turned it into drama. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a future video. But so we're moving, we get moved into our place, and that's where the drama of the show begins. But you can watch it for yourself. The name of the show is Thicker Than Water. You can watch it on Prime Video or Peacock. Now, watch at your own risk because the show did not get great reviews. Now, I love my family, both sides. It's not the proudest thing that I was a part of. I don't talk about it. Like my friends that are around me, I don't even tell people that I was a part of this show. Only reason I'm telling y'all is I'm telling y'all all my business and my story. So this is just part of it. So if you choose to, you can go watch the show and you'll get a lot of understanding, or it'll pick up right here from everything that I've been telling you guys. It'll pick up on your TV screen. Now, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time in the story talking about the show. If y'all decide, y'all can go watch it. But like I say, watch at your own risk. But we'll talk about what happens next in part 9.
So before we go to part 9, I will watch the Bravo show that he refers to and get all the characters, get all the tea, and I will do a story time about the entire show right here on this channel, so you don't have to spend your time watching it, especially if he said it wasn't really that good. And I'll tell you everything that goes on the show, so that we'll be really up to date on what's tea. Okay, let's get back into the story.
Part 9, how my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. Now, I need y'all to know this is not a plug for the show. I don't typically tell folks that I'm even a part of the show. We keep it very quiet. I don't even think my ex-wife has even watched any of the episodes. We don't really talk about it. As I mentioned, it's not one of the prouder things that I've been involved with. I love my family, love what we do, but just the show, we just don't really talk about it. And also, for anyone that's planning on going to watch the show, keep in mind that it's a reality show. It's not real life. It's a version of reality. So they took this narrative of us moving and not telling our family. They took that narrative and really blew it out of proportion, and they put you in situations that you normally wouldn't be in to create drama. Because in real life, that probably would, us moving and not telling anyone, probably would have been one conversation like, oh my gosh, y'all moved, y'all didn't tell us, like, is everything okay, hugs and kisses.
Yeah,
and it probably would have been over and
done.
done with. But because it's a reality TV show, they blew it out of proportion. Now, I'm going to skip ahead, because if you want to see what happens, you can watch the show if you choose to. But like I say, watch at your own risk. But as a result of all the drama that happened on the show, they're putting a lot of pressure on my wife. She was just kind of the scapegoat of the show. And a lot of it, as I mentioned, just blew completely out of proportion. She's arguing with her sister. She's like, this is my business. Y'all don't need to know everything that's going on. And then now they're doing therapy appointments on the show. And it just blew up into just a tremendous amount of drama. So this is very taxing for my wife, completely understandably. I'm backpedaling financially. So, I'm looking at being the broke brother-in-law again, which is crazy. I'm like, why couldn't they have started the show during the years when I was prosperous? Now I'm backpedaling, but she always had my back. She was always by my side. She always let me know it wasn't about the money, not about the material. Like, I'm with you, babe. So as a result of all the drama that ensued on the TV show, we were also thinking it's maybe time for us to leave and make a move and get out of here. We were thinking of uprooting again for the third time. Like I said, the first time was Detroit. The second time was California. Now we're planning on uprooting and moving to Texas. So that's exactly what we did. Once the show wrapped up, we pretty much got to the point to where we said, we're out of here. The show created a lot of animosity between my ex-wife and her sisters and family, just because the way all the drama worked out. And in the next video, part 10, I'll explain how we move forward in Texas and what happened from there. But if you want to understand anything in between all of that, just go and watch the TV show, but watch at your own risk. Part 10 coming up. Part 10, how my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. So the first season of the show has wrapped up. We've landed in Austin, Texas, and immediately things start to take off for us. I find work really quickly. We find a really nice place to stay. My wife at the time still wasn't working, but I told her, take as much time as you need and figure out your purpose in life, what it is that you want to do with the rest of your life. She decided she wants to go back to school, get her master's degree, and become a therapist. Fantastic. Let's make that happen. So during this time, she was actually still taking classes in Tennessee. So a couple times a month, I'd fly her back and forth to Tennessee. Eventually, she transferred to classes in Dallas, Texas, which was really fun for the family because we would load the kids up, spend a couple weekends a month in Dallas. I'm taking care of the kids while mom is focusing on finishing up her studies. So that was a really fun time for us. So eventually she graduates, and now she's in position where she can start contributing to the household. So things are looking really well for us. During this time, the second season of the show is coming around. Now, her sisters had been extending all kind of olive branches to make amends so they could get, their sisterhood going again. But my wife didn't want anything to do with it. I mean, they would send gifts. She'd send the gifts back. I mean, she didn't want anything to do with it. But the second season of the show is coming around, and we're thinking we're far from rich, but we're doing okay. But we're thinking if the second season of the show does really well, it could be a huge opportunity for us. So we decided, okay, we'll go ahead and do the second season. Second season is as much drama as the first season. It's a reality TV show. This is what comes with the package. So when the third season came around, by that time we were out. There's no way we're going to do another season. And the first and second season were already very taxing on my wife. Because during this time, I'm still dealing with the manic episodes as well. Now, by this time, I had become a master at dealing with the manic episodes. Couple trips to the hospital, and it was really the same pattern as the first time that I told you. Like, okay, babe, yep, I'm the one that's with the problem. Let's go to the hospital. Okay, yep, I'll make sure they talk to me as long as they talk to you. Let's just get through this. But, in the meantime, I get some mind-blowing sex. But I became a master at navigating the manic episodes. So we kind of got that part kind of worked out. But I did get to a point to where I talked to her and I said, something's going on. Like, you may want to consider seeing a psychiatrist, maybe getting on some sort of medication. Because at this point, I still didn't have a diagnosis of what was really going on with her. But she assured me I'm fine. There's nothing wrong with me. If anything, there's something wrong with you. Like, she was talking about me, like maybe there's something wrong with you, which was the same pattern that we had over the years. But I had become so good at managing life with the manic episodes, I didn't put too much pressure on it. Until her mother got sick. That was the night everything changed. Part 11. How my perfect 20-year marriage abruptly came to an end. It's January 2020. My wife is now almost done with all her requirements for school. She's now in a position where she's about to start working and now contributing to the household. We're in the development of having our own TV show. We have 3 wonderful children. I mean, life couldn't be better at this point in our life. And then we get a call from Tennessee. Mom is sick. We don't know if she's going to make it. You guys need to get up here.
Oh, no.
Okay, great. We're on our way. No problem. So we load up the kids. Now we got to drive to Tennessee. Not realizing this would be the last weekend that we would spend together as a family. This would be the last weekend that we would be together as a couple. So we get to Tennessee and immediately there's drama because this is years after the show. And my wife is still not talking to her sisters. And as a matter of fact, she refuses to even be in the room with them when she visits her mom. So we have to wait for her sisters to leave before we go in and check on mom. After some time, over that weekend, it turns out mom is pulling through. We think she's going to be okay. There's some complications, but we think mom's going to pull through. She's going to be all right. So it was a quick trip. We had to turn right back around and get back to Texas because the kids got to get back to school. I have to get back to work. So we're on the road driving back to Texas. And I'm starting to notice what I've seen so many times before. We're going into another manic episode. Okay, no problem. I've seen this before. I know how to, I'm a master at navigating manic episodes. No problem. We can get this done. Except this one is different. This one is manic episode on level 10. But I'm saying to myself, her mother is in a situation. We didn't know if she was going to make it. I totally understand. One of the signs when I know we're going into a manic episode and I have to step into manic management mode, she gets overly communicative. And so I'm noticing on this drive back, she is on her phone and she is sending text messages as long as my intro to this story. she is chopping away. She trying to light fire on that phone. And I'm looking like, whoa, my goodness. But once again, mama's in a bad place. So I'm like doing the normal thing that I do. Buckle down. I got to make sure the kids are taken care of, make sure everyone's good, and we'll get through this. And then later on tonight, I might get some of that wild, you know. So we get back home. It's a Sunday night. Kids got to go to school in the morning. I have to go to work. Put everybody to bed. It's a normal night. I get up the next morning. My normal routine, get the kids ready for school, go to work. It's a normal day. She's at home. She's resting. I know it's been a long weekend for her. So I go to work. Normal day at work. And at this time, I was working Uber as well. So I would work my regular 9 to 5. And then from like 5 until midnight, I would drive Uber just to make some additional income. So I'm grinding. I get off my regular 9 to 5. Then I click my Uber on. All right, now it's time to go to work. Then I start getting calls from the kids. Dad, we hungry. Where's mom at? We don't know where mom is. Dad, can you please come home? And I'm like, okay. I call my Janice, where are you? I'm calling her. I can't get a hold of her. She's not picking up text messages. And I'm like, okay, I got to go home and take care of the kids and make sure they're good. So I reroute. I'm on my way home. Now I get a call from my wife. Ring, ring. Oh, hey, babe. Yeah, everything is good. I got the kids. Yeah, babe, where you been at? The kids been calling me. They saying they hungry. They say they can't find you. What's going on? Like, is everything okay? Yeah, I'm good, baby. Sorry. I'll make sure the kids get something to eat. Everybody's good. Okay, great. No problem. Fantastic. So I go back to doing my regular grind. Now I'm driving. I'm thinking everything at home is taken care of. I decide to end a little early tonight. So it's around 11 o'clock. I get home and I pull up. Nobody's home. Where is everybody? Where's my family? It's 11 o'clock at night. It's a school night. The kids got to go to school in the morning. Where's my wife? I'm calling her. She's not picking up the phone again. She was sick over that weekend. Like she had a cold and her throat was hurting really bad. So I'm thinking maybe she went to the hospital. So there's an ER that was about a mile down from where we live. So I drive to the hospital. She's not at the hospital. And I'm freaking out at this point. So my only option is just to drive home. So I drive home. I get home. And guess who pulls up at the same time that I do? At midnight. My wife with the children in the car. Now the children are buzzing when they get out the car. Here's where it gets really bizarre. She's not talking to me. She's whispering. Because supposedly her throat hurts too much to actually talk. And so she's whispering, I'll talk to you in a minute. Don't worry, I will tell you. And I'm like, will you talk to me and tell me what was going on? I was extremely worried. And she's still whispering. Okay, so we get in the house. I'm pissed at this point. We get in the house and put the kids to bed. And I tell her like, okay, are you ready to talk to me now? Because you need to let me know what's going on. Where were you tonight? And why were you out so late? And why couldn't I get a hold of you? Everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. And this is just driving me through the roof, all this whispering. So then she's talking about my throat hurts too much. I'm going to write a note. So then she write notes. But she writing these notes and just scribbling down jargon that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I'm almost out of time on this video, so I'll pick it up on part 12.
So that was the next segment of his story about his 20-year marriage abruptly coming to an end. I will get the next videos up for us to watch as quick as I can. What do you think about the Bravo show? I will watch the reality show that they were a part of, and I will give you a full story time on those details. And consider subscribing. We're locked in now. We got to find out what's going on with his marriage. So if you want to find out the details, go ahead and subscribe. And I'll be right back with more small doses of April and this crazy story time. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all shortly with the next part.